darkness creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire.
Men, women, slayers and embers, welcome to Burning Questions, where the wind whispers secrets and those secrets only breed more questions. On tonight's episode, we have the cursed creature of calamity, Zephyr. Would you kindly tell us about your history?
Thank you. Greetings. I'm glad to be here. It is such an honor to be on this type of stream and seeing you. I'm glad.
Well, we're glad having you, man.
It's my pleasure. So, I am just your local storm being, born from the negativity from you people have gone through. Risen, accumulated, trapped inside of one dark cloud. But hey, from darkness borns a new light. That is me. And I welcome you. Welcome to Crazy KZ Stream.
So
Podcast.
yeah, this is Zephyr, and he is a what was that? A being born from the dark feelings of humans.
Exactly. From mortals.
Okay, cool, interesting. Could you tell us a bit about like how you started out this way?
Well, it's a long journey. To sum it up real nice and cozy is I am what you people call as a reincarnator, a regressor if you may, from previous life, many lives. My one task in life is to seek revenge on the gods who made me this way. The very gods I hate. But hey.
Okay,
Well,
so you were born to hate the gods, essentially.
oh no, okay, so let me clear it. For my first life, the world I was in was played around, created by the gods just for it to be a game. In sense, gods play around the life of mortal here and there, like chess pieces, pawns, checkers, or even RPG games. People were born with talent, jobs, classes, and inherit some, wealth or whatnot. I was once just a normal knight, aimed to be the greatest for the kingdom I serve. But the very god I served was the one that backstabbed me, left me. And soon I realized there is more than just one. There is many. And such, I plagued my heart just to give them their own medicine. But I was cursed. Cursed, I tell you. It was terrible. For thousands of years, many lives. But now, in this life, I am one step closer to get my revenge.
How are you closer compared to your older lives now?
So, in this life, I have gained the power of God, close to God, if you may. From my previous lives, their one true goal is to unlock one each of requirements to get the power. And it took me around 20-ish, maybe 19 lives at this point. I can't remember. I stopped count. But now, all I need is just a menial task. That's what you can see. Me, a god, well, a soon to be god, need to have a mass following in this thing called VTubing. It is rough, it is awkward, but hey, it's fun. It's something to life.
So
That's all, guys.
to be a come a god, you need to be watched by people.
Well, I can't say much since the progress itself is a question. To have a mass following, like one is a king, to have a following in his kingdom is what is VTubing is like. To have a following, a mass gathering under one name. And that's how I see it.
I suppose it makes sense. Just since a lot of I've seen plenty of guests on Burning Questions who are, well, kings, queens, and so on, gods. Some of them are even gods. So it's kind of like a new relationship, right? A new type of worship, in a sense, at least.
Me type of worship, I don't like it as much since being a god itself, I
Yeah.
feel malice. But yet I'm using the power of God itself. So being worship is weird. It's gonna be a weird feeling someday, but I've gotta do what I've got to do. At least I'm gonna get some recognition as a new deity. Since I am still new, I don't have much power. But as soon as time goes on, as my numbers count rises, new power emerge.
Okay, I see. You're just to be clear, you've been reincarnated over and over again across the centuries, right?
Yes.
How much of your memories do you remember? Do you fully remember it? Because I've had a guest not that long ago. His name is Augustus, who has a reincarnation thing, but they don't really fully remember like all of their memories. So I was wondering if it's the same for you.
Only remember glimpses of my past lives since there is many. The only one that I truly remember is the beginning and the end. And times where I went berserk from anger.
Okay, I see.
Usually happens.
Okay, we'll how do I say this? We are going to see first on what kinds of things you may hold in your mind. So we can start off with the official first burning question. The first burning question is, what was your life like as a peasant under the gods? And I'm talking about your first life, of course. Like when you were first reincarnated, or your life before you started reincarnating.
It was but a normal life. I earned barely anything, but yet it was fulfilling enough from day to day. I live born in a village, normal village, what you see in, I don't know, a starting village in an RPG game. Just a normal night on duty, trying to serve for a bit better cause, a higher cause. following what was at that time normal. People was like excited from here and there, adventuring, killing monsters, if you may, trying to get a living, and so do I. I was young, fairly young, around the age 17 at that time. It was considering as adult, young adult. Around there, life was peaceful even when the god was running mayhem. I was at bliss, ignorance, bliss. I went day to day doing my job, trying to serve the kingdom I lived in. It was a normal kingdom run by a somewhat noble ruler. But the kingdom is blinded. They are serving one god. I can't remember the god's name. It's been so long. It's painful from time to time to remember my memories, my life. All I'm saying was pain and suffering. I can't remember much from day to day. All I can remember is the pain and sorrow after, the anger, the anguish. But with all that pain, I can see the light. The light is almost blinding. Release me from the rage. But at that moment, when I realized it's already my second life. Sorry, man, I can't remember much.
Don't worry, that's fine. So, being as you were from the days of the old gods and also having a practical peasant life, doing some research, we estimated that you've probably lived roughly 600 years, or has it been a bit more?
I think it's been over millennia, since every life is not from the same world. I've lived 100 years or more than one, more than 500 in another, and everything else is a blur. But it's safe to say I've lived my life. My name has lived, carry on for thousands and thousands of years.
Okay, so you had like about your estimates of how many lifetimes do you have then?
Life? I mean,
You
I think this
live-
is a 20-ish? 19? I think this is the 19th life I have.
Okay, so okay, so I'm assuming that you you age differently from like most humans, or you just don't like reincarnate back to back.
Reincarnate back to back.
Okay, I see.
It's the same. Yep.
But you lived
Because
for like thousands of years on different worlds.
in different worlds, in different time. Yes, I live over thousands of years. Only my name, my soul was passed on from life to life, but no two life is the same person or have the same meaning, same destination or starting point.
Okay, I'm still trying to like wrap my head around the math of this, because so let's say that you live for like 19 lives.
Yes.
But they're all from different worlds.
Yes.
So do you do you age the same way as humans does?
Unfortunately, yes. Since I inhabited each world, so I follow their own life,
Okay.
how they live.
Okay, so you live 19 lives. You live the same age as normal humans.
Yes.
That's roughly a very low estimate will probably say like 30 years.
Excuse me, what?
Uh
I,
nah, I'm just like trying to wrap my head around the mathematics of this.
it's, it's fine. I also don't keep track of time in my life. I just live for what I should do. So I think it's fine if you don't rack your brain for it.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. Regardless, you live for 1,000 years. With
Yes.
having lived such a long life,
Mhm.
I want to ask, living such a long life and like pretty much like living through the ages, like from medieval times to I'm assuming what is pre-Roman times in some worlds.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a very important question that I know a lot of people are wondering. What is the best historical food that you've had?
Oh my god. Oh, that
Because
is it. That is
I,
good. That is good.
I've been reading up on some foods, and of course there's like a lot of historian cooks on YouTube, and one of the most interesting ones was the proto pizza. What I like to call the proto pizza, because I have no idea what it's actually called. It's just a Roman flatbread with some toppings. That's essentially a pizza.
Yep. Yep. I get it. I get it. Mm, it's hard to say. There's a lot of good ones from time to time. It's hard to beat. Mm, damn. I haven't really given food my attention daily then. But there is one that should wreck. That should do good, which is it's simple. It's just an onigiri. No, it's not onigiri. What is it? No, it's yakisoba from the Edo period, from old
Ah,
Japanese.
okay.
It's simple but filling.
I suppose that's a good choice. Like what are its things inside of it? Like what are the fillings of a classic style onigiri? It's using like
Onigiri.
um
Oh,
fish, or are we talking about
oh
like pickled
no,
plum? Because I've
no.
tasted, I've made some on old
It's
onigiri.
the simplest of terms. Just rice.
It's just a
There is
rice ball.
nothing. Just rice ball. No nigiri. That's what it is by its essence. It is at that time from it's his own their own creator. It's just good. From the source itself is enough. It's actually better from this period. Having weird stuff like squids in there, chicken teriyaki and whatnot inside. It's it's bad. It's not good. Oh, I miss the Edo period. God damn.
Yes, I've heard a lot of things about the Edo period.
Hmm.
I actually heard about like other people other VTubers who are now today living there. Just forgot what his name though, like Vox something though.
Living
What
in the Edo period?
Yes. Actually, why don't you tell us about like your past lives? Like what did they experience during those times?
Experiences in my past lives?
Yeah.
You want to know that? Huh? Okay. Well,
Like the highlights of your past lives.
okay. So I think there was a few, a few instances that was God can say as highlights. Well, one, I remember that time I was born as a slave and being traded off. I can vividly smell the stench of other slave, the rusty bars, iron bars, and seeing that disgusting, filthy pig of a merchant just with the devilish smile across his face, setting me off to a fucking to a battlefield somewhere. It was rough. But thank God I got my revenge and killing him. After becoming what is known as, oh, it's not war criminal. What was the name? The Prince of War is a nickname I gained from managing to massacre 100+ soldiers I think it was in Roman times. Roman or Greek? Can't remember.
Okay.
Oh. Fighting against Vikings. Now that's interesting. Second is, this is from in another world where, blade and sorcery, magic, somewhat. It was one of the greatest times I had since combining swordsman's and magic was like heresy or somewhat. Cutting down a flying dragon. I think it was a dragon, or was it a wyvern? I can't remember.
How many arms and how many wings did it have?
It stood up on 2 legs and has arms.
Okay, I think it's a dragon then.
Yeah, it has 4 wings. I kid you not, 4 wings. He can speak human. I'm gonna say human because I can't remember the language it was in. It's what's called the apocalypse. That dragon alone is called an apocalypse in that world itself. Yeah, there I was with something of a substitute of an Excalibur. An Excalibur wannabe, just duking it out 7 days, 7 nights in a barren wasteland of what was known was a nation. It was fun.
It sounds like you've been through a lot. Like now, there's like a lot of worlds and fighting a lot of their creatures, huh?
Yep, but some doesn't start off good. I remember one life. It ended so abruptly. Like I was born, and then I died. You didn't get a chance to see what happened.
I feel like that would happen a lot, considering how a lot of people aren't. A lot of worlds don't actually like have really good healthcare, you know.
Healthcare, or even good, starting points, consequences. Yeah, I remember the most painful one was living in a gas planet.
Gas planet? How did that work out?
By gas planet, not the planet this was known as, I don't know, Jupiter or something, Uranus or something. This is a gas planet. Also, which I mean is a normal planet which is close to Earth, but is covered by toxic gas.
So Venus.
More toxic. Not really. It's more toxic. It's deadlier. I think I live in that world twice. One I managed to survive from birth, one isn't so lucky. Probably that's the reason. Yes. It is so toxic that even this world's hazmat suits cannot do anything. Can't do shit. Yikes. Not even having an oxygen tank can save you from that.
How long did you survive on that planet?
I don't know. I survived for a week. Probably because of, human mutations.
Fair
And
enough, but
genetic
like you're still
mutation.
gonna die from it.
Exactly. That's why I say a week dead and done. Dead. Because of one misstep. It's so toxic. I was fine intake with, toxic intakes, but once I got a scratch, open wound, and it's all over. It's all over. And that short period of 10 seconds was the most excruciating pain I ever felt. I can feel my bones melt from the inside.
Most excruciating pain you felt in your
Yeah.
your 19 lives.
I can say it's like top two, top two ish. I have a top three.
Fair enough, fair
It
enough.
was just a small cut in my wrist, not wrist. I mean, what is this? My forearm. Just a small cut, but the toxic gas seeps into it, melts my bones. I can feel my arm went to mush. My bones melt. All my tissue, my muscle, literally boils. Just like what you see in like Attack on Titan, where it's just literally goes into steam. It's literally pouring out of the wound. And it slowly goes up into my head, dead, brain dead, still alive somehow, and then went straight to my heart and down. Living just a skin suit. I don't know how. It is what it is.
That sounds fucking terrible, of course.
Exactly.
That sounds fucked. But
It is.
I suppose that's just like something a lot that's something that's there. All I can say is that there are a lot of like even worse things that people can like do to each other, which does tend to happen like every now and then. But regardless, let's move on to the next question, which is around what age was your first life? Are we talking like medieval times, or are we talking like pre-bronze period, like let's say Egyptian?
My first life, like I said, it is I serve under a kingdom, which correlates to somewhat medieval times. But hey, like I said, gods playing like games, so it might as well be another world. So it can correlate around 1300s, not 1300s, I think. It is medieval time if you convert it into this world's place, time zone or something, history. But yeah, my first life was something.
Okay, that is interesting. I don't think I've heard of like, well, I have heard of this, but just like seeing like how fantasy is wrapped in like a lot of people's lives. Can you give us more details about what sorry, about what you remember about the worship of your god? Like, what did you do to worship this being?
Oh, that god. Oh, that son of a bitch. Sorry, pardon my words. Pardon
It's
my
fine,
language.
don't worry about it.
That god, from what I can remember, it's correlates. It's what you can say is god of prosperity. So people would give sacrifices, like some part of their wealth in the kingdom to make offerings to the gods stuff. But like I said, if wealth is subjective, it can be anything from money, food, property, or even I've seen it, surprisingly, sacrificing children's, newborns. It is disgusting how they blindly follow that motherfucker. He is. People call him God of Prosperity, but I see him as, what was I say, addicted to wealth. He gives false hope of blessings to people while obtaining all of the gold, all of the money, all of the currency, all of the wealth stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna sock that motherfucker right in the face. Blow his socks off. God damn. Can't wait.
So just to be clear, you are just what's the term here? You were just trying to become a god, just to, like, take revenge on your god. On the god, at least.
Is it thing? Oh no, yeah. Yeah, you can say it. I actually don't want to be God. I want. Because, well, just like any journey, any fantasy journey, there is a starting motivation, and then something might happen midway to change a bit. So, I never wanted to be God. I just wanted to kill gods. But, fight fire with fire. That's the terminology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fight fire with fire. I have to be God to kill gods.
I mean, I get that.
So my journey is Kratos.
Yeah.
In the
God of
famous
War.
game God of War. Yeah. So that is my journey right now. Right now I am Kratos from PlayStation 2. The early ones.
Yeah, the really early God of War. That was a really good game, by the way.
On the journey to kill Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, and eventually Kronos. Yeah, that is my journey right now. That's what you can summarize.
So with that being your ultimate goal, you found a way to become a god, at least, in a sense.
Yep. Somehow I
And that is how, again?
at the cost of me trying to kill God promised by another god. Funny enough, I can gain the power to kill gods. It was the only option I have, because I was at death's door trying to kill gods. Suddenly a voice came into my head asking me if I want to gain power to have my own revenge. I immediately say yes, because what else can I do? I either say yes or die. So I say yes. And next life, I was reborn again. The only thing I remember from that is how that being explained to me what I'm gonna do. I can gain the power to kill gods. Yes, I like that, but there's always a catch. There is no such thing as free lunch.
Yeah.
It is at the cost of revival, reincarnating constantly from each life, gaining power, gaining authority, opening, I don't know, something, gaining something. So in the next life I can do it again, gaining new stuff, new power, new components for my end goal. So this is my curse. Constant revival until it's finished. Each life has its own purpose to get something. If I can't get it, by the time I die, the next life has to do it. And it continues so on, so on, and so on. So if this life doesn't, I'll just go to another one. but I am closer to just this one task. But yeah, now I am what's essentially God is. What is God? A being that isn't born from any other beings, and I have no blood. That's what the mortal was saying. God doesn't bleed, so I don't bleed. I have no blood. I was born. I was born already in this size. People, I think I've seen enough people. Other VTubers says like they are like, I don't know, it's 300 years, 500 years, 60, 30 years old. I'm over here 7 months. I've only been alive for 7 months, so my age right now is 7 months.
So
I've got-
you're born like fully formed already. Well, you just
Yes.
like manifest, I suppose,
Yeah.
not really born.
Yeah, kind of. So I literally manifest into this body, this vessel, if I could say, made to kill gods.
Okay, I see, but you're not yet to the same power level as the god you wish to kill, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. I do not have what it takes yet to kill gods, but I have what resembles godly powers, which is conjuring and controlling storms, winds. Right now.
Okay,
But-
I get that.
Yeah, but it's a hit or miss sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Out of spite, have you thought of like worshipping a different god, or do you just like hate gods, period?
Period. I hate gods. I hate every god that was in my life, in my first life. Like I said, there is not one god, but there is many, and all of them are the same. Well, not all of them, most of them, but still, I hate them. I hate how they just view life, mortal life, as just mere pawns, like a pawn in a chessboard. Just use it. If it's not good, throw it away. Use another one. I hate it. Every life is special. Everyone's unique. Not all are the same. Everyone has a different worth. As fucking Anubis. Every life has worth. And I hate the gods that was in my first life.
So you just so you primarily just don't like them for their control over humans.
Yes. They're mere, not really control, but how they view human life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I can sympathize with that, but just not to gods, but to like the other creatures that live in my city essentially. But that's a story for another day. Given that you have retained the memories of like plenty of your like your past essentially,
Yep.
it's
Excuse me.
you reincarnate immediately. Do you reincarnate as a baby or as like an adult already? Because I'm like trying to imagine just a little baby that was appeared out of nowhere and has PTSD.
Okay, so that is funny. That is funny. I haven't think about it. In some cases, I have to be born as an infant because my body is either in the making or even done, ready, tailor-made. Yeah.
So it's RNG.
Yes, it's literally RNG. Some are some are newborn, some are have a few years under their belt, some are just literally on death's door, and etc. etc. The newborns are challenging. Enough,
I'm just like
since I have-
trying to just imagine that just an orphan appears out of nowhere, just like
An orphan?
like just a kid just appears out of nowhere in front of like an orphanage, and like just immediately suffers from PTSD, and like the
Um,
orphan characters are like, what the fuck?
I thankfully that didn't happen because after a few lives, I managed to, calm down a bit. My fear is gone literally because PTSD is nothing anymore since I've
It happens
been
so
through it.
often.
It happened too much, and it would be ridiculous if a new kid, like a child, just knows stuff too much, grotesque stuff. So sometimes I just close my mouth, just don't say anything, and just play along until at some point I can do my stuff. There's there's I think a few times where I have to act as an infant in a noble housing. So you can tell where the part it goes weird.
It
Right.
already sounds like it's gonna get weird.
But you already know. I think people have seen like enough, isekai animes to know what happened if you're reincarnated as an infant, a newborn.
I mean, what's it called, the saga of Tanya the
Oh
Evil,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that was hilarious.
That is
just a kid, just a kid with
uh,
an adult man's brain.
yep. That is funny. But have you seen? No, the one that I'm talking about is the scene from what's the name? Jobless Reincarnation.
Jobless Streak. I have not seen that.
Oh yeah. So what I'm saying is, it gets weird when I am hungry as an infant.
Oh, Mishuko Tensei. That's what this
Yeah, Mushoku
is.
Tensei. Yeah, Mushoku
Okay.
Tensei. Jobless Reincarnation, Jobless Tensei.
Okay.
The
Okay.
weird
I
part is when you know when I don't know, a baby is hungry, crying. What do they feed off?
milk
From where?
the breast.
Now you get it. That's the weird
Okay.
one. Having
Okay.
having lived for hundreds of years at that, having to get breastfeed almost daily, daily is just weird. And it tastes
Okay.
bitter. It tastes bad. Breast milk tastes bad.
So it's not like those memes that like that's like, what would you like your coffee with? Oh, I'd like my milk. I'd like my coffee with breast milk.
Breast milk. I mean breast milk. I mean breast. Nah,
Exactly.
it is bad actually. It doesn't taste good actually. It it tastes almost like I don't know. You put coffee in yogurt or something. It just doesn't taste good.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, what are some like other adventures that you've had, like since you have the mind of a kid?
Yep.
I mean, you had the mind of an adult, but like in the kid's body. What uh what exactly were your goals in those other worlds? I mean,
Um. Well, most. Uh, some. It, some life are weird because sometimes there is no task. There is nothing. And just
so
do on
you
your own.
couldn't find a way to like become a god in those dimensions.
Yeah. Don't find the parts to become a god, steps to become a god. Because sometimes there is none. There is nothing. Nothing for me to learn, to get, to obtain. Some parts, well, I think the most recent one are trying to have authority over fellowship, which is me being a ruler, a king in both parts, a noble one and an evil tyrant one, which is ends cruelly, somehow ends the same way, which is scary actually. being backstabbed. Funny enough.
So you ended up becoming a type of ruler to try to make
Yes.
yourself to become a god, but it never turned out, huh?
Yeah, to learn how authority works, how having a worship, not a worship, uh, a following gains you power, how it correlates with how many people behind your back means power, your strength. That was I learned from it. Some I live as scholars, sages, teachers, students, and I don't know, archaeologists or something, something of that, to gain knowledge about the world itself, insight about everything and anything, be it animals to magic to sorcery to astronomy, anything that is physical, even in the world, I need to have knowledge and insight. That took a few years, and that blew my mind, literally, figuratively, and jokingly.
I imagine that's like trying to adapt like new knowledge like every single time might be a pain in the ass, especially how it's not always like you growing up immediately like knowing everything about the world.
Yes.
It is quite literally like in some isekais like where
Yep.
they just appear absolutely no jack shit about the world.
Yep. Literally. I had one life. Like I said, I've lived for 100 years more. That was the life where I lived as a hermit.
Ah, so you live as a hermit also at one point.
Yes. And the funny things about that life is I am also the reason why the world is so underdeveloped.
Why?
Because I stole I mean all of the books in the world and kept it in my safe haven
Why?
where no one can. I don't know, man. I got bored. I need to read. I
You
was
got
in the
bored, took your shit,
zone.
and just left. Okay.
Yeah, I killed myself because no one can kill me, and then I don't know what happened. I hope it dies.
Just to be sure that you did this only once, right? I hope you didn't like doom a bunch of worlds because.
Next. Continue.
Fair enough.
Carry on.
Let's get back to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about this great flood?
Oh, right. Oh, so it's in this like the Great Flood, which struck the eastern continent of this world. Yeah, that happens when I was. Unfortunately, that's gonna be my fault.
Oh no, what did you do?
because no, here's the thing. When I reincarnated into this life, my body wasn't made yet.
Mhm.
It took a great while, like about a decade, but my body needed a decade to gain enough accumulated negativity, enough energy to say it. I can't I couldn't wait. I have literally no patience, so I have to intervene a bit, just dropping just pushing the waves a bit, you get me, just tapping the waters, but I didn't know it happened to be a flood. Good. So the reason why that happens also because the flood occurs in the eastern continent over here, which almost flooded the whole nation. But great thing is the sun is always up and literally dry up the water, so everything is okay. But it's also caused a national disaster, and well, having lost anything and everything, people were mad, were depressed, sad, angry, hollow. Just anything, just every emotion they can. But luckily it was enough. It was enough for my body to, you know, be created. But sadly, everyone has to take a hit. But they
Okay,
won't
that
know.
is yeah.
They won't know.
I can see why that would be a bit strange to us, like some people, but it's just like something that it's like a decision you have to make, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
actually, we got a guest fact redeem from Savory Chicken. Can you tell us about yourself, like a fact a fact about your history?
My history?
Yes.
Wait, which one?
I mean, just like general, just a fact about yourself.
Okay, well, a fact about myself, about my life and history. Reincarnating isn't safe, isn't fun. Going through each life, I mean, transitioning from one life to another is boring as fuck. You have your soul wanders. Your soul move at incredibly slow pace in a in what you call a wormhole at this point. And just like I said, it's slow as fuck. It's boring as fuck. And it's not safe because the horrors, the horrors in there. I've seen Cthulhu. Nah, never mind. Nah, just kidding. But I've seen creatures resemble somewhat as what you call as Cthulhu. You know, squid people, tentacles, in space. I'm like,
Nice, real nice.
it's not fun seeing those faces for I don't know a year every time. Just the whole stretch of time. But you might see some interesting stuff, like the birth of a planet and the death of a planet.
I feel like reincarnation is basically the same thing as a, let's say, a person who is addicted to like RPG games. And every time they start a new RPG game, they always like start from level 0. So like no equipment, no no weapons, no skills. It's like for example playing Skyrim, like starting out Skyrim and then just starting out a new save or just moving on to like a different game.
Yeah, I mean that is one way to say it, but
A
you're
really
right.
slow start.
You're right, but not wrong. But wrong. Since reincarnating, well, if you're lucky enough to start from 0, which is just born, then yes, you can say you just started from there. But in my case, it's not. It's I don't know what to say. It's literally just hell. Like, no, hell is too good. Hell is too nice. It's shit. I cannot. Oh, how can I say this? It's a hit or miss every time, since you might get a JRPG style life. You might get Dark Souls type life.
I suppose that makes sense. Yeah.
You might get a visual novel type life, or a first person shooter type life, or somewhat, I don't know, post apocalyptic type life.
Actually, in your opinion, what is the most adventurous life that you've had? Like, was it something that's like difficult or something that's more like slice of life easy kind of thing?
My most favorite, is the one I've told just recently. The one that I became a slave. I literally started from literally underground to the top of the sky. Started as a slave, ended as a king.
Nice. But then obviously that didn't work out, huh?
Yes, of course, because every ruler has an end. How does it end? Betrayal, backstab, everything. Even if you're a good ruler or a bad ruler, your end is the same. Backstab. It's surprising how it happened almost every time. No matter how bad you are or even how good you are, you always get backstabbed by your close retainers or the neighboring quote unquote ally nation. They always do this. I don't know why. Well,
And
wait, what do you mean I don't know? I know. Yeah, just dicks.
humans are just dicks, yeah. Actually,
It just
that ties in very well to the next question, actually, which is, with centuries of viewing humans, like their growth, what did you notice were the same or different, like throughout the ages?
it's always the same how we're like they just throw away other people when they are useless. They only pick useful ones. That's always the same, no matter how far back you trace humanity goes. They only pick useful people into their life or even, society pack and throw away those that are not talented, not useful, or just a huge burden to them. It sickens me a bit, but I get it.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean, because it's like, to an extent, we get why. Okay, let's say, for example, we have a business, right? There's like
Yes.
this one company.
Mhm.
They're gonna fire the workers who aren't doing much, or like who like produce very little, essentially.
Yes, but yeah.
But of
But
course,
his
there's also like reasons why they should do that. For example, let's say that this person is like heavily depressed.
mm, or
Well,
just not
they just
stable.
fire him. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. After observe much of them, there is always that one person. That one person categorized as the people that don't do the work or even not useful. There's always one. If you kick them out, there is always another one fill in the spot. It doesn't go away. But that motivates other to work harder.
So that they won't end up like that guy. I get that. Yeah.
Yes. It's all in the games. It's all in the minds. It's simple. You cannot understand. There is always the bad link, the weakest link. You cannot throw it away. You cannot cut it off because there is always another. Because here's the thing. If you imagine you put a list and you cut off the person at the lowest, there is another lowest. You cut them off. And then another one. Cut it off. Then another one, and so on. You
Okay.
cannot
Yeah.
cut off the weakest, the lowest, because there is always another one.
Okay. I suppose that makes sense. It's like there's always a last place in a race, right?
Yes. Yep.
If
There
you
is
remove
always a one.
if you remove the last place in the race, there's always a second one after that.
Yes. That's why I always look at the big picture, everything from a lot of perspective.
But also, on the other hand, that also means that there's always a first place also, right?
Yes. Always the first one. But not always being the first is a good thing.
Also true, yeah, because you're always like, you have to keep your place, and you have to like keep struggling to just reach the top.
No.
Huh?
Because you don't want to reveal your hand so easily. This is what I learned from being a ruler. If you show your hands, other people can win the game. How? By killing you off.
So just like don't reveal your secrets. Is that what you mean?
Don't reveal secrets, just enough to be undetected from envy, from jealousy, from other people that didn't do much, didn't do better. Human minds is easily corrupt. Just one loss can make them clouded with jealousy, anger, to the point logical thinking doesn't exist. Rationality just out the window. I've seen it before. I've seen it plenty of times. Our great Spartan falls by a mere farmer. It's so simple. Humanity is fragile, easily controllable. Now I see how the god can, control them. I've seen it.
That makes sense. Like it's just that there is a bit too. I suppose the proper term is just how people don't realize how some systems can be easily toppled. Like if you just boil it down,
Yeah.
Okay, like for example, let's say that, okay, like to the example you gave earlier, we had the Spartans. The reason they lost was because essentially they got flanked.
Yep.
That's like somebody like if you boil it down, it's like they were betrayed. They were shown up. The enemy was shown the past. They were shown the weakness of the Spartans, how they always keep finding the same formation, and they don't really adapt well to like the change in tides.
Yes.
But boiling it down, that's essentially it's just flanking. I suppose like another example would be let's say another example would be like dictatorships. The way to defeat a dictatorship, there is a lot of ways to defeat a dictatorship, right? But
Yep.
it essentially just boils down to severing the head of the dictatorship.
Of course.
On one hand, you can say that the dictatorship will be replaced by another dictatorship. Yes, but then you just keep. If you execute enough heads, something will change eventually.
Eventually, something will change.
I
but
mean-
at the
I mean-
meantime, it won't.
That is also true. I mean, but like an example would be, for example, the royal family in Russia or in France. They severed enough heads, and now they're democratic. To an extent, of course. Not Russia is a bit different, but in France it is more democratic.
Yeah, they finally change.
But essentially, it just boils down to like dictatorship. This man has power. How do we change the system where only one person has power? Take away that person. There we go.
Take away that person, kill him. That's it. Now who's gonna be on power? You.
Or you can also just
What
say,
you gonna do?
also change the organization.
Yeah.
But so I also just recall like some irony when it comes to that, because I forgot who said it, but it was a person. It was, I think it was Plato, I think, who said that history repeats itself. First it's a tragedy, and second time it's a comedy.
Oh yeah. I think I remember that one. It was funny as fuck. It was funny.
I just found it really funny because one of the examples that they gave, it wasn't Plato, it was someone else, but one example where it actually made sense was France. Again, it's all, of course it's France. Napoleon.
Oh yeah.
He created an empire that spanned all the way to the US. when he was exiled, and when he eventually died, his nephew, also named Napoleon, tried to do the same thing. What happened?
The same.
He survived. He only lasted like, I think, 3 months in office before he was ousted.
God bless. I think I've heard
Yeah,
that news before, but goddamn.
it's just funny like how these things just fall so easily when you like just boil things down, you know?
It is. It is surprisingly so. But human changes fast.
That is
They're that
also
fast.
true. There are
But
a lot of things that has changed like in human society, like how people view online stuff.
online, okay. That is something that I should, get ready. Online stuff is a mess, is what I can say.
True.
It's a controlled mess. Blinded.
Uh, I actually think that one of the funniest things I recall from like the past is how people viewed friendships in online,
Yeah.
because it was all because for like a long while it was always like never trust, never make friends online because there could be just like I don't know, like a criminal.
Yeah. A
And then look
criminal,
at
a
now.
creep, some catfish.
Exactly.
Which
And
is
then
scary.
just look at now. It's basically almost a lot of people, almost all the relationships are just online now, or like a
Yeah.
large part. I love
mean-
VTubers. That's like our whole thing.
Yeah, BB2 is just, I am this person, not me, but I want to be friends with you. I know you're not real because you're using this person. It's literally just both are playing mask, using
Yeah.
mask,
Yeah.
and being friends. Well, quote unquote friends, that is. But
Yeah.
some flourish until they see the real parts, the real, person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Some are lucky, some don't. Or some are just, absurd to the point like ooh, crazy sometimes. Don't wanna go
Yeah,
into that.
I've seen that a lot with like the different people online, but I suppose that's just something that some people just need to adapt with, huh? Just like learning how to better like tell who is a good guy and who is somebody that might just screw me over, kind of thing.
Yeah, that type of, what? Yeah, that type of skill actually been degraded from years on. Since your only information is just a name and a profile picture. That's it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can only know it after you sit in VC and hear their voices. Then that's where the intentions get leaked slowly, and then you can see where this relationship will go, either to friendship or even to strangers back again, which is mostly happen.
Yeah, definitely. I see what you mean. It's just things change, and we can never be like too sure what's gonna happen, you know.
Yep. Was
So anyway, let's
Okay.
move on to the next question, which is 19 reincarnations is, by very low estimates, is of course like thousands of it's like 600 years, but like you can stretch it out because you're also living in like different worlds. So well, in your opinion, what do you think is the most interesting world that you've been to?
In what way interesting, you may ask?
Like something that is just unique from the world that you are currently in, that we are all currently in.
Okay. Unique, interesting. Let me recall for a bit, since there are quite a few interesting ones. One, I might say, there exists what people in this world obsessed with, which is Monster girls.
Ah, hell yeah!
You're excited?
I have an entire show just about monster girls, so yes, I am quite excited.
Yeah, I can tell. I guess it was enjoyable until it lasts. Until how human capabilities have to chain you down for a bit.
What are we talking about
But
here?
what you talking about here?
What do you mean, like human capabilities? Like have to like stretch down? Are we talking like?
I mean, can you resist?
Sorry? You caught it for a sec. Can you?
Okay, so human capability is like, I mean, I don't know, can you touch fire for a long period of time?
Ah, those kinds of capabilities. Fair enough. The limitations that like some humans have to go through.
Yeah, like, yeah, just normal human stuff that human cannot do usually without any configurations, and what's the next one? Well, another one is how can I say, living in a city in the sky, I must say.
A city in the sky.
Yeah, a kingdom in the sky. That is fun at
Are
some
we
point.
talking Bioshock Infinite or something else?
What is Shock Infinite? What the hell?
Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, Bioshock. No, just there's a whole kingdom in the clouds, up in the sky. That type of fantasy.
Okay, fair. I suppose it makes sense. That makes enough sense.
Mm.
So
And
no, I was just about to say with living in all those places, do you ever like wish that you could go back to these kinds of places, particularly the Monster Girl one? Because I definitely want to go there.
unfortunately, yes. Sometimes I miss some of the worlds that I lived in, because of, well, entertainment reasons and
Yes.
connection reasons, connection wise. Since right now I started from being a nobody again. From, I think previous one was the one I was being a noble leader, which is being a king. So yeah, in sense, yes, I miss my old worlds sometimes, but sometimes I don't, because I remember when
The terrible ones.
yeah, the terrible ones and the ones that are just hurts my head. For instance, there was this one life I was born as a magician. Was that
Magician.
word? A mage, in sense, yeah.
Okay, I see.
So with me being after, that was like in the 12-ish life,
Mhm.
I think, knowing how the element works in previous life, going into that life is literally hard, because how my brain racks everything from each spell, circles, life, orbs, literally everything via in magic. Deconstruct and reconstruct, manipulate everything. It hurts my brain because it always runs 24/7.
Just learning these how should I say,
It's not learning. I've learned the fact that my brain do it on its own hurts. I can't shut it down or even just stop thinking. It just goes on. It's automatic. Not even in sleep I can get some rest. It's always running. I don't like it. It hurts. That life, thankfully it was fine. It was fine. At that time I finally found like some leeway to do it, since I obtained a skill called parallel thinking something.
parallel thinking?
yeah, ones that you see in most like mm, Magic MC RPG manga.
Like
So
what is parallel thinking entail?
so in sense you have two minds, two brains,
Okay.
two yeah, two minds. One can think this and one can think about that at the same time. So that's how like most magic users can cast two different spells at the same time. It is literally made me ambidextrous, but in thinking wise.
Okay, I think I get what you mean.
So that's great because now I can think for myself without worrying me exploding my brains into goo like that poison from that toxic world,
Yeah.
from that gas planet.
I could see how that could be an issue.
Yep. But it
Um,
was fun. It was fun.
definitely, it sounds really interesting. Just how having a different type of ability that you just develop because of necessity.
Yes. I was in pain. But it
Which is
all ended. The world ends in me dropping a nuke
nice.
just for fun. Because I hate.
I want to like bring up. Speaking of which, what abilities did you develop? Like seeing as that that you are immortal, and actually that's basically just like what kind of ability did you develop being immortal? Like not just like normal abilities. I mean not just like your uh immortality, but like other skills. What like skills have like led you to what have you developed like being from being immortal?
Being immortal in this life or in
Generally.
previous other. Generally. Um well, most of the skills are not, besides immortality, which is the highest ranks of skills, there is a few like low ranks or even mid ranks. High ranks, which is leadership, which is I generally take in charge even though I don't want to. Somehow became a trait, which is a passive. It's a passive trait. Leader.
So like
Born a leader.
leadership, yeah.
Yeah, born a leader is a high rank skill, passive skill. It happens. Even I when I don't want to take reign, I I take charge somehow. Yeah. So that skill activates when there is like more than 3 people in a group in my presence. It happens a few times in other life when I never. It was like a group thing. I was waiting for anyone to take charge, to take lead, to become leader, but somehow it became me. I think I took the head and I had to go along. I never wanted to become a leader. I never wanted this. It
Yeah.
just happens. I don't like it. Next is next a few skills, which is I don't know. But I mean most of it is mostly common. But okay, so there is one that I like, which is quick learner, leader.
Okay,
The quick learner skill.
so it's basically you start to learn more skills. It's like
No,
it's like
it's I learn skills faster. This happens when I was as a mage. I earned this from being both a mage and a hermit because I gain insight quicker, knowledge, and skills enough to make it practical. Right now,
okay.
so these skills, how I can implement these skills in this world is just games, mostly.
Oh, okay,
Since
I
that's
I
what
can see that.
I can only do.
But what you were saying earlier, I think it's like I went through the same thing a bit, and that's like with the learning how to become a leader, because out of necessity, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Because um I've been in like many situations where people just kept like trying to work as a quote unquote democracy, and it just doesn't work out.
It never works. Democracy, it never works out quick.
Somebody just has to take charge, because there was this one, I recall this on like several occasions where for example there was a task that needed to be done, right? But like there was like so many ideals that they just kept like trying to compromise. Let's try to do A, but also try to do B, C, and D. And then I just kept saying, don't do any of those, just pick one, because we don't have enough materials, we don't have enough etc. to like do all those plans. And then I was like, but I don't want to like, I want to like I'll learn how to do everything. Pick pick that one damn idea, please.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's just more out of necessity, right?
Yeah, it happens. It's just sometimes you just have the skills to become a leader at some point.
On the bright side, it's a new skill to learn, right?
It is a new skill. Thankfully, it's a skill I needed for becoming a leader, because you have to have a attention-grabbing voice.
Also
with
true.
authority, with power behind it. I think this happened. This skill gained like came in fruit. I mean, recently, I guess, in previous life, where I was sent into like a gathering once, and we have to split in groups. At each group needs to have one of each requirements. I can't remember what requirements was, but we know that there is enough people with different requirements. So it was hard to actually gather people, but I wanted to just sit there and just get dragged by other people, so I do not have to do anything to become, not working, not useful, quote unquote, not doing work.
Oh yeah. I get what you mean. There's like it's just like it's a thing.
It's just I don't want. Yeah,
like
it's
you just had the feel to contribute, right?
Yeah, it's a country. No, that feeling. The skills activate at that moment after a few minutes of trying to get people up, because I was just sticking around, going here and there, just wandering. It literally blew a fuse. I literally stopped caring, stop what I'm not doing, and literally just gather the people I needed to make my own group. Just helping people gather up. It was painful, because I had to go around and yoink people out.
Oh, okay.
Grab them by their hand, by their wrist, by their arm, and
You're coming with me, kind of thing.
Yes.
You're coming with me. We're working together.
like,
you don't have to say this.
You have it. Come with me. They just follow, because what can they do? Someone with a powerful voice order them to go, so might as well. And then we have my group gather enough people, enough requirements, so they want to elect a leader. So it went to kind of democracy-ish, where people vote who they want to become the leader.
At least there's a leader that was made, right?
Yes. So on three, in queue, in sync, they all pointed at me. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it.
I agree. There are some times where like you become a leader, but you just don't want to be the leader.
That is leadership at this point. I don't like, but I had to.
It's just necessity. So
Yeah.
next question is, let's see. Oh, we're actually like on the last part of this already.
What?
We're on the last two questions. Well, you'll see. So there's a file mentioning that in your past lives you went insane. Would you kindly elaborate like what happened during these times?
Um. Yeah. Okay. Hold up. That
Okay.
burns a bit. Insanity. Yeah. Yep. I remember that. I remember that. Um. Oh god. I lose my sanity. It was in the early parts of my, uh, journey of revivals,
Mm-hmm.
reincarnations. Uh, hmm. It was bad because the world I was in is what, again, many people like it because it was fantasy and God. It was a word called the Murim, Murim, which is literally in, I've seen it in manhwas, which resembles what my world was. Mostly martial arts. In, I think it was all Chinese or Korean. I think it was all Chinese. Where people have martial arts, where people fight using swords, blades, weapons, and having, I don't know, cultivation arts or somewhat. I don't know if you know this. So, yeah.
I don't
In
think I know what you're talking about. The just
Murim,
like
yeah.
the type of like fighting style.
Yeah. No, it's a setting in a world, literally.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. It's a world that close to, where samurai, like, it's almost like in the samurai period where people fight using swords and weapons, but there is nothing, there is no, empires or kingdoms. There is alliances.
Like a feudal area, like a feudal era. Sorry.
Yeah, something like that. So I was what they call the strongest. The strong, the rising star in the world of Murim, where I fought using, I think it was a blade. I was using a blade. A blade? No, it wasn't a blade. It was a. Hold on, I need to remember because it was dark. I was using a spear at that point because I don't know. It was fun using a spear. I I rose the ranks in the
I use this
world.
weapon because it's fun.
Yes, it is long, pointy, and it goes poke poke.
Fair.
Yeah, I rose the rank in the world to become the rising star in the world in Murim. The part where I went insane is actually saddening because I had a lover in that world. She was with me when we were young. We grew up in the same village, went to adventures everywhere across the world, from plains to mountains to valleys. She was with me. She was nice. She was beautiful. Just enough for me. We grew old. We grew up around until the age of like 28, 29-ish. And then tragedy happens. She was stabbed by a close friend of mine in front of me. I don't know. I lost it. I went insane. I went mad. I went angry. All I remember was bloodshed. Death is where I walk. Where I go, people die left and right. I went yeah, insane. Went mad, become the mad killer. Going places where human lives. I literally killed half of the world's population because of that. I died because of exhaustion, and I never rest. Never ate food or water. I went for kills. Rivers, oceans was red from blood itself.
Mm-hmm.
The soil becomes so bad, not even weeds can grow out of it. Plants die, wither from the burning or even decaying corpse. Nothing comes good from the land I've stepped on. So I said, I went mad. That's not once I've gone through it. I think it's been 3 times. I've lost it. One, I've killed, well, like I said, the more than one, I've killed half of the population. Second one, I went mad because, well, knowledge broke my mind.
That's when you were a mage, right?
No, I think, can't remember. I think there's a different one. I was studying stuff, being a scholar. I went too deep into the and I was hungry for knowledge. I went mad again. Insanity. I broken through because of ancient texts. That when I, summoned what's called a calamity onto the world. Oh, it was my fault. They were innocent, but my hunger for knowledge killed me. Next one is just the next life is just sorrow. Because the one with the Murim and this one is literally the next life. I was still angry. I was still mad. I killed my starting point, my starting life. I killed myself. I was
Yeah,
still
so
angry.
you started out already, like just dying.
Yeah, I started out in the body of a adventurer. I killed my party immediately and then killed myself. They were innocent again. They were happy before I took over the body. I went mad. I went insane. And then after that, I never wanted to be insane again. I don't want to. I don't have to. I don't need to. I shut down most of my emotions just so I don't go crazy again. Okay, carry on. It was traumatizing.
Yeah, I could see why that would like be terrible, of course. But regardless, I think it's time for the last burning question.
Oh no.
That is, of course, it's less of a observation and more of, I mean, it's less of a question but more of an observation. Seeing as you are surviving pretty much out of spite to the god that you hate just so that you can slay them, I wanted to ask is, you were blessed in some capacity by the, so what we can assume might be the god of the wind, seeing as how you have a name that does mean wind, right? In
Yes.
Egyptian wording.
Egyptian? I don't think it's Egyptian. I think
not
it's
Egyptian?
I think it's, what was it? Roman?
Ah,
No,
okay.
wait. Or it's Greek. No, it's Greek.
Oh, it's Greek.
Yep. Greek mythology from Greece. From Greek.
Ah, okay, I
Roman
see.
Roman is Norse. Norse is ruled by Odin. Greek is Zeus.
Okay. Ah, okay. That actually makes a lot more sense. So it's okay, okay, I see. So regardless, we can say that you are that you are named after wind, essentially, right?
Yep, that was my name from the very start.
So, seeing as you're made of wind, that you're named after wind, would it be proper to say that your entire life was spent trying to hunt down a god, and your name has always been the same? So would it be safe to say
Yes.
that you are remarkably good at breaking wind?
Yes. What did you mean by that?
I think this is something that you're gonna have to find out by yourself. What I mean
You
by breaking wind. But anyway, everyone who has stuck around to the end, thank you for watching this Burning Questions. Did you enjoy your time on Burning Questions, Zephyr?
I had a wonderful time. Surprisingly.
well, I'm glad you had a great time on here. Goodbye, everyone.